Hey everybody, I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day today. It is March and it is almost springtime, and I've had the opportunity to take a little trip down to Orange County and the Mission Gardens of San Juan Capistrano. I cannot wait. I am unfortunately going to miss the Festival of the Swallows on March 19th by just barely. But I can't wait to go see these gardens. I've heard so much about them. They're real big on succulents, being down in Southern California, and you know how I feel about succulents. Never been there before. I've heard it's amazing, and I really want to bring you guys along with me. So follow along. Let's go see. Look at this. Look at this. Finally made it here, and let's check it out. It says it's worth a visit. Let's go look. Okay guys, right inside the gate, we've got a mission bell. It says El Camino Real, and like I said before, this is mission number 7 of 21. And we're here, and they all end up in the mission in Sonoma County, where I'm from. Something really exciting about that. I just found out that this citrus here, this gorgeous, healthy, big citrus, is actually called a Meyer orange, which I've never heard about before. And one of the guys here was so kind to give me one, which I'm going to try out a little bit later. But I'm just looking at the vigor, the sheer number of fruit on it. You can tell just how happy citrus are in the climate down here. But that's not all I'm going to show you. There's an amazing plant over here that when I asked one of the guys what it was, what is that plant that looks kind of like popcorn? They said, it's a popcorn plant. So I think the Latin name might be cassia something, but you're not going to believe this. Come with me. Look at it. Look at this plant. It looks like buttery popcorn, and I was told to squish the petals a little bit and take a big inhale. And believe it or not, it smells exactly like buttery popcorn. I'm astonished at it. I have a feeling it might be a little too tender for me to grow in our Zone 9B Petaluma Gardens, but this place is so worth a visit. You're just gonna have to come down here and enjoy this popcorn plant right here. So something I wanted to say about this particular area is full of salvias. It's full of absolutely amazing, fabulous, different kinds of salvias. Some of them I've never seen before, some are familiar, but if you've watched my channel at all, you're gonna know I love salvias. They're drought tolerant, they bloom in our particular climate from spring through fall, and they come in such a range of colors. There's pretty much a salvia for everybody's gardens. So just look right here in this little space I'm looking at, I'm seeing at least 8 or 9 different kinds of salvias, different colors. This one's one of my favorites. I've even seen it in Ireland. That's a Greggii called Moonlight. That one is gorgeous, Chiapensis. This one, I can't remember which one it is, but just look at them all. Oh, I just spotted some monarchs. I'm gonna sit down for a second and see if they come back. But just look at this. I'm gonna take a little break here. I'm seeing an Asclepias, one of the milkweeds, right here. Monarch right there, he's probably on its way. But look at this garden. In this little space alone, you've got milkweed, you've got poppies, you've got status that is covered by honeybees right now. There's Coleonema, Breath of Heaven, a couple of other little salvias. Oh my goodness, and my favorite aloe again. All backed up by some hollyhocks. But stay, I have to show you some hollyhocks I spotted over that way. We're gonna go check those out next. I promised you some hollyhocks, and look at this thing. So not only do they have amazing drought-tolerant, butterfly-loving pollinator plants here that are clearly built for this climate, they can also grow their hollyhocks to massive lofty heights. Look at this. Now, if you've ever grown hollyhocks before, you know they're biennial. They do their main blooming in the second season. This is one of those old-fashioned ones, totally stunning. And it blooms from the bottom up. So those are buds at the top that you're looking at. But aren't these just spectacular? Now, I am 5'5", so these are clearly somewhere around the 7-foot range. Obviously, for the back of the border, you're not going to put them in the front of the border because you're not going to see anything behind them if you did such a thing. But look at this. Look at this beautiful bloom. I'm getting distracted by butterflies everywhere, but this flower also distracted me. Absolutely stunning bearded iris. I don't know the actual name of this one, but as you can see, the falls are deep purple. The top petals are sky blue, and there's a whole other stand of them over there that I just got to go look at. There is so much to explore in the gardens here. I'm not even talking yet about the history of this place, but it's amazing. It's just so incredible to see something this beautiful and to see the ruins and to see buildings this old here in California. But right here, Mexican bush sage. Absolutely in full force, full bloom, and looking stunning. And more of these amazing irises. Oh, and here we have one of our favorite salvias of all times. This is hot lips. Now, the coolest thing about hot lips is the blooms are mostly bicolor. So they're supposed to look exactly like this when the lower petals are really beautiful crimson cherry red and you got splashes of white on the top. But on this plant, you're going to see different amounts of white and cherry red on each petal. Look at this one over here. It's like completely reversed. You've got white with little red lips. And some of the blooms are entirely red. I love surprises in a plant, and salvia hot lips never fails in that regard. The other really cool thing about hot lips is the hummingbirds particularly love it. They're drawn to the red, they just love it, and even in Petaluma, it seems to bloom 3/4 of the year. So you got hummingbird food in your garden all year long if you're growing hot lips. Gotta stop here for a second because one of my favorite aloes ever is blooming right here. This is aloe striata with its the smoother version. And look at the way the candelabras just hold those blooms up high. Absolutely stunning. And I love aloes of every kind, and I'd heard that the aloes here were particularly good. A lot of the blooms have finished because their season is a little bit ahead of ours up in our zone 9B, but this guy stopped me in my tracks. And over here, we've got a leucadendron. I did a video about leucadendrons a little while back because I am pretty obsessed with these plants. This one here is called Jester. And one of the coolest things about leucadendrons, they're from the Southern Hemisphere. I saw a lot on my trip to Australia. And they bloom right now in Australia, which is the summertime. Even though we're up here in the Northern Hemisphere, whole different season, they still bloom this time of year. It's very cool. Don't understand it, but it's the truth. And over here, we've got a pincushion flower. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but look at this. These guys are absolutely amazing. This is not fully opened. I think it's going to open up to be even more pincushion looking. Another Southern Hemisphere bloom. They come from South Africa, these ones. And the leucadendrons and grevilleas are from Australia, but this bed here is a nice mix of everything. Aloes, of course, are also South African, so this must be the African bed. Here we are, California poppies blooming so beautifully. You know, it's so wonderful to see the state flower blooming right here at a place that is celebrating its 250th anniversary. And the ruins up there, that was the larger church that got destroyed in an earthquake, I think in 1812 or something like that. And the ruins are just spectacular. Okay, let's go check out the ruins. But on the way, I've just got to show you this absolutely spectacular stand of agaves. This one is called the foxtail agave, agave attenuata. And around where we are, it's either too wet or sometimes too cold for us to really grow it successfully without bringing it indoors. So it's such a treat to see a whole stand of them, just happy as can be, right here in among this gorgeous statice or limonium that the bees seem to absolutely adore. This is a really fantastic scented geranium that smells amazing. I think it's the nutmeg variety, judging by the flower. It doesn't 100% smell like nutmeg, but it's a really nice one. But come on, let's go check these out. I just found some more absolutely amazing poppies, and the butterflies are visiting them, so I'm gonna go check those out. But you also have to look at these bells. Look at the amazing bells. Obviously they belong to the church, which was felled in that earthquake, but they've kept them here, and there's more bells over there I'm gonna go look at in just a moment. This is a plant that is fascinating to me. I love echiums in general, but this variegated one is so cool, and I'm gonna have it pretty soon at Cottage. I haven't seen it in bloom yet, but just the foliage alone is pretty exciting if you ask me. I love variegated plants. I love echiums. They do seem to self-seed and breed true to the variegated form, just judging by what's going on right outside the church walls. Oh, and right here, you can see they're just beginning to bloom. Look at that. True echium blooms. And this plant right here has stopped me because it looks really like white sage. I mean, everything about it looks like white sage, but the blooms are blue, so I think it's one of the clary sages. Not 100% sure. I will find out. But the foliage smells like white sage. Smells exactly like it. This is stunning. Absolutely love it. Something else I really have to show you though. Look at this euphorbia over here. Look at this. This is another euphorbia they call it variegated just because it's this pale color. Can't remember the actual species name, but this is one of the most beautiful specimens I have ever seen. And look at this. Here is an aeonium. Again, they're a little bit ahead of our season up in zone 9B. Look at the blooms on this aeonium. They don't even look real. You know, you've got your aeonium. Here is your nice, tidy aeonium. Then when they bloom, they send up this big stalk, big cone, bright yellow blooms. Ours at home, we're gonna do that in the next 3-4 weeks, I think, or at least begin it. But it's pretty exciting. All right, I was on the way to over there, but I just had to stop because this whole garden section right here has some of the most beautiful plants. And you know, I'm pretty much addicted to succulents. So you got some aloes, real low growing aloes right here. You know, I'm really addicted to aloes. Right here is an aloe vera. This is the one that you break off and put on a burn wound. But did you know it had yellow flowers? The buds are right there. It's about to open up and bloom in yellow. I am finding more and more things, and this is practically a secret area. Maybe it's not a secret, but it's not as visited back here on the back side of the church walls. But the succulents are incredible. I'm finding a beautiful variegated aloe right there, all these gorgeous agave attenuatas, some cacti, happy as can be, another variegated agave, sticks on fire. Now at home, we grow them as houseplants, and they're never this thrilled or happy looking or this on fire. But right here, it is so happy. Shark-tooth aloe, and I have these at my house, so I know for sure they do okay in zone 9B. I love how they grow and they just send out these long shoots of these incredibly sharp little shark-toothy leaves. And they're tough as nails, and when they bloom, it is an extra special treat because not only is this plant amazing if it doesn't bloom, it sends out the blooms from the very end, and they're the usual orange, gorgeous aloe blooms that the hummingbirds adore. Let's go check this out. I just found the chapel. Goodness, come look at this. Look at this. There is so much to see. Here we are back at the fountain. This is so spectacular. Really close to the entrance is this beautiful fountain. The sound is perfect, the dimensions are perfect for the location, and it has these beautiful water plants whose names I do not know. Believe me, I'm going to find out. And this is one of the first times I've ever been tempted to have a whole water garden section at Cottage Gardens. These things are amazing. What else is amazing? This old oak tree. Look at this. Okay, I found the vegetable garden. Let's go check it out. Here is one gigantic artichoke plant. It is obviously incredibly happy. I don't know, I'm sure most of you know what an artichoke plant looks like, but for those of you who don't, it's in the thistle family and it loves our Northern California climate. And this is what it does. I think it's highly ornamental, absolutely gorgeous, even without the buds popping up. And artichokes, when you're eating an artichoke, you're eating the flower bud. If you leave that artichoke bud on the plant, it opens up to the most spectacular looking purple thistle flower. So here's the plant. Pretty soon, I would lay bets there are some buds buried in there and they're going to shoot up fairly soon. But isn't this just spectacular? Gotta tell you about this. I was just admiring this beautiful pergola here, totally covered in grapevines and last year's grapes. And I just saw the sign. These grapes were planted in 1779. Father Sarah did not want to be importing wine and whatnot from the mother country because it would take months to get here and ships might sink and whatnot. So he got cuttings sent to him and they started growing them in 1780, most likely. And these vines, I've never seen anything quite so old here. These look like they're the original vines planted in 1780. Look at the trunks in these things. Look at this. This is incredible. I love the fact that they're obviously still producing grapes. I just came across this. We've got the euphorbia called Crown of Thorns, and you can see why it's called Crown of Thorns. Just look at this. It is unbelievable, but look where it's growing, right beside the Easter lilies. Isn't that incredible? The callows over there, also known as Easter lilies, and a crown of thorns. That's pretty amazing if you ask me. And there we are, everybody. I didn't get to everywhere, I just couldn't. I am just like overwhelmed and I need to come back, I just know it. But I really hope you enjoyed the visit to the San Juan Capistrano Gardens here at the Mission. Totally stunning, one absolutely amazing vista after another. Ruins, flowers, the fountain. It's not a botanical garden exactly because it just isn't. It's just a spectacular garden set in an amazing place full of history that everybody really needs to go visit. If you have any questions, of course, drop me a question in the comments. If you want to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram or at Cottage Gardens of Petaluma more often than not. Right now I'm happy as a clam here in these beautiful gardens. And before we go, I just have to point out this incredible madrone. Look at this thing. It's completely distracting me from the outro I'm trying to do here because look, there are monarchs on it, there's hummingbirds flying around, there are bees. The crows have nothing to do with this madrone, but they're still distracting, and it's incredible. So yeah, let's finish here. This is an incredible place. You need to visit it, but you need to visit me too, Cottage Gardens of Petaluma. See you next time, everybody. Happy gardening.